Hey, what's going on? My name is Derek Ross, and I'm here today to talk to you about Stacks. Stacks is your AI provider. Stacks is your LLM router. And most importantly, Stacks is you using AI your way. Welcome to Stacks version 1.0. So what exactly is Stacks? Stacks is a decentralized AI template sharing platform that's built on Nostr. It's designed to help jumpstart your AI-first development. With Stacks, anyone can publish and share templates, or you can use them as a starting point to build with LLMs for the very first time. Stacks templates have all the tools, all the resources, all the know-how, all the knowledge to help you get started with your project. So what's new with version 1.0 and why is it so exciting? With version 1.0, you can truly be your own AI provider, and you can truly be your own AI LLM router. That means you can take advantage of running multiple AI providers, including your own. You can also use various LLMs per project and switch them as often as you'd like. You can use various slash commands, such as saving your history, browsing your history, loading your history. You can enjoy a completely new developer-focused experience. However, even if you're not a developer, it's really easy to use. Okay, so let's get into Stacks 1.0. You need to launch your terminal and you need to install Stacks. If you haven't installed it, you can copy the installation command from our website, paste it, and hit enter, and Stacks will be installed momentarily. If you are already running Stacks and you want to upgrade to version 1.0, you just type in Stacks upgrade and hit enter, and your application will be upgraded to version 1.0. And then you are ready to start Stacks by typing Stacks agent to launch the Dork agent. Once Dork is launched, we can begin checking out all the various features of version 1.0. Okay, now we have Dork up and running. We have Stacks version 1.0. What can we do? Well, we can easily configure and switch between multiple AI providers like OpenRouter, PaperQ, Anthropic, OpenAI, and so forth. We can have per project AI settings. So if you have multiple projects that you're working on, you can have different AI settings for different projects. You can use different AI providers and different LLMs for different projects. There's various slash commands that allow you to instantly switch models. So if you're working on a project, let's say you're using a very expensive model to get started. And after you're started, and maybe just for bug fixes and small feature enhancements, maybe you want to switch to a cheaper model. You can do that. Or vice versa. Maybe you're using a cheaper model and you're coming across a bug and you just cannot get this bug fixed and figured out. So then you switch to a more expensive model, a more robust model. You get that bug fixed, and then you switch back to another model. You can do that. So let's see how we do that. Let's type the slash command here and see what commands we have available. We can check out models, providers. We can look at the tools, the system prompt. We can look at our history. This is very useful. We can load our history, actually, and we can change temperature settings if we want to make our AI a little crazy and a little more lenient and a little more fun. So let's see what do we do when we go to /p for providers. We can add a provider, edit a provider, remove, or list current providers. Let's take a look at list. List shows that I have two providers already configured, ZAI provider and OpenRouter provider. Let's go back to these and see what else I can do. I can add a provider. For example, if I'm using Anthropic, I can get down to Anthropic, and then I can enter my Anthropic API key. And then once I add it, it's now configured, and it would now show up under the list of providers. When it shows up under the list of providers, I can then remove it if I would like to by going to remove, and I can select which one I would like to remove. So let's check out models. What exactly do models do? Let's hit /m here. So we saw earlier that I had ZAI configured. So I have the ZAI GLM 4.5 model automatically configured, and I can choose to use this model with this project, or I could look at other ZAI models if I would like. So let's just take a look at this as an example. It's going to connect to ZAI and see what other models do I have available from my ZAI API key. Well, it says I have GLM 4.5 and 4.5 Air, so I could switch that if I would like. Let's take a look at models again. Let's go down here and look at OpenRouter models, because I have an OpenRouter key configured. it's going to connect to OpenRouter and look at all of the different models that OpenRouter has available. I can scroll up and down this list and pick a model that I would like to use. Let's say if I wanted to use the brand new ChatGPT-5 for some reason, I would pick that and boom, now this project is using ChatGPT-5. If I find that ChatGPT-5 is not as good as Anthropic, Claude, for example, I can just type /m again and go down here to OpenRouter models, and I can find the better AI if I wanted to switch to. Maybe I want to switch to the brand new Claude Opus 4.1. Maybe I want to. So you can also load your history. So if I type /L, I can look at my previous AI history, and I can get down and look at all the different days that I worked on this project and all the different conversations that I had. I can bring it up and it will replace my current history. So it says this will replace your history session, one message. Would I like to do this? Sure, let's do that. So it loaded one message from my application test I did earlier today. And now if I find out that this context, this history isn't a good history, and if I don't want this, I can load another one. Let's go down here and pick a couple days ago. Let's pick the 21st. Let's say I wanted to load all 830 messages, because that's a lot of context. I can just click that and boom, my whole entire previous history and context is loaded and ready and available for me to resume the project. Okay, let's do a real quick recap. Why is Stacks version 1.0 so important? Why is it revolutionary? What does it do for us? Well, it makes our lives easier. If we're into AI first development, you want to be your own router. You want to have user choice. You want to have as many configuration options as possible. Stacks 1.0 gives you the ability to choose your various AI providers, and you can configure and choose whichever LLM that you want to use. And on top of that, as you're working on your project, you can actively switch between them. So if you're working on a project and you hit a bug, or maybe the LLM that you're using isn't building the feature as you would have hoped, or if it's burning through tons of tokens and wasting funds, you can easily switch to a different LLM and see if it tackles the problem, see if it fixes the bug, or see if it's cheaper. It's all about user choice with Stacks version 1.0. So, if you're ready to get started with AI first development, you're going to want to use Stacks. You're going to want to visit getstacks.dev and check out version 1.0. Thanks for watching.